Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered 8 viewer-submitted levels, so in this part, I'll be covering several more viewer-submitted levels, starting out with this one, Napalm Ballistic updated by Daibuman, 15 plays and a score of 6. As always, if you want whatever levels to be featured in a future part like this one, please leave the level name and level ID either in the comment section below or direct message me on Twitter. Also, as always, the full disclaimer, this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for every level that I cover in these parts. So if you want to see if I covered your level in this part or a future part, check the description. I get the feeling that this stage is going to be a traditional level focusing on count bomb oriented challenges. And we have the Surf Snake, Ring Boomerang, Dive Missile, Rush Coil, and Rush Jet. And we have a ladder dropping segment. Somehow, Heatman's team seems appropriate for this type of level. Although I get the feeling we may unlock some new special weapons. Who knows? This sort of challenge. I'm not sure if I can make the jump, so I will just damage boost over here. That was a little bit scary, especially with the yellow petite devil there. That went a lot better than I expected it. Damage boosting for fun and profit, especially because of spike hitboxes here. I don't trust it in this engine. You saw what happened when I ranted back in the Napalm Man versus stage in the previous part, although I feel I was a bit too ranty. Wow, you have to hold right quickly there. I really don't like that design decision to put the spikes there. Then again, quite a few levels in traditional Mega Man on the NES did do that too. Well, the left route was the more difficult route, and because I took it, I get a free E-tank, so that I do approve of. And we get our first non-petite devil enemy type. This stage is definitely utilizing its count bug gimmick a lot. And it forces quick weapon usage as well, mainly because the count bombs detonate really quickly. And I forgot to check if I had the charge shot, and lo and behold, I have the Mega Man 6 charge shot. The second best one, out of the ones currently in this engine. There's also the Mega Man 7 charge shot, which is the worst one. Mainly because of the slow charging rate, and the fact it only deals 2 points of damage per hit. Oh neat, we actually need to fight the Tama here on the bouncy ones. But with stuff like the Ring Boomerang and Dive Missile, it's easy. I want to deal with these petite devils first before I do this jumping challenge. Better safe than sorry. So far, the stage's challenge progression seems about fine. Nothing too difficult so far. A lot of petite devils here though. This sort of challenge. Well, okay. I can respawn these off screen if need be. Oh goody, no damage boosting here unfortunately. I somehow sneaked through that yellow petite devil somehow. I'm not gonna risk these types of challenges, I'm just gonna rush jet it. As I said, better safe than sorry. After all, I can never get knocked off of it, and as long as there's no count bomb right in front of me, I should be fine. Not what I expected there, but I guess it works. I wonder what would happen if I stood on the ceiling there. Would I glitch out the stage? Still, this was a neat yet quite hectic stage, especially in the latter part. Still, all of this is doable Buster only, although it's really challenging, but you can use stuff like the rush jet as well as your special weapons to make it a bit easier, so that I do approve of. This was a more difficult traditional level, and now we fight Napalm Man on these springs. His weakness is probably the dive missile, seems to be. And I have an E-tank in case I need it. Which I probably do. Yeah, I'll just use E-tank here. The Fortress boss team here is quite appropriate, especially because of Napalm Man's more inconsistent AI. As I mentioned, even though I found this stage to be quite hectic, I enjoyed it. I would like it to be a bit easier, or to be a bit more forgiving, especially with some of those spike drops. At the very least, the enemies were introduced pretty well, and I enjoyed it. You may want to vary up the Petite Devil colors though. The only ones used were yellow. And the only other two enemy types of the stage were the Metar, as well as the Gachapons. Well, outside of the mini-boss also being Tama. Those were pretty fun. So I'll lean towards giving it a thumbs up. It's effectively a more difficult traditional level. Second up is She Took a Midnight Train Going Anywhere by Skullman. 241 plays and a score of 45. A pretty high ranking level actually. It probably got on the most popular queue, although I missed it, I don't know what day it did. So let's see why. I guess this will be a train level judging by the title, and I guess that door is the entrance to the train. A traditional level as well. And a Mega Man 6 charge shot. Wait a minute. I guess this is the bridge. I thought it'd be a secret or something. And of course we have the train Mets. Well, they're called Metal K1000s, but I'd rather just call them train Mets. It's a lot easier and it rolls off the tongue better. I get the feeling that one of these doors is gonna open up randomly. Yep, that was the one. Okay. Meme, I see there. I was a bit worried by that lag segment. Well, okay then, it wasn't on a jerkish maneuver, it was actually just there for a secret. Although most players would hit it because the other boss doors were solid, this one isn't. I wonder where this leads to. The next part of the stage? Looks to be. A bit of forced weapon usage as well, so I wonder. Not taking any chances here, and of course there's an invisible ceiling right up there, conveniently placed in order to make that segment more difficult. Let me try going through that segment one more time to see if there's any secrets or anything. It just seems so suspicious. I get the feeling it's a quicker alternate route to the end of the stage, or there's an M-tank there. That, or we unlock a special weapon and we get teleported back using a Galaxy Man teleporter. Still, I would like some better indication that there's actually a ceiling up there, so we don't randomly end up falling into a pit. I get the feeling this is either a really elaborate path that leads to the boss, or it just leads to a weapon. We'll have to see. If it leads to the final boss encounter, or it's actually an alternate route, I'll replay through the stage in order to see what the other route leads to. Though this route forces you to use the rush coil repeatedly. So I guess this is the alternate route you're intending to go through after you have the rush coil. And of course we get an E&M tank. I was hoping for a special weapon or two, but this works out. And because these are E and M tanks, they'll persist even if I die. That was certainly a neat level, although I would have preferred if the stage actually had a moving background. And now we fight Metal Man here. Well, I have an E-tank, so might as well use it. I get the feeling I missed a special weapon somewhere, but I'm not sure. And I also get the feeling that this stage won its high score more for its aesthetic more than anything else. Oh, and there's something probably to the right of the stage, probably the special weapon that I missed. I did like the alternate route for the E&M tank, but I would have liked a special weapon there. Honestly, this stage was, level design-wise, kind of on the bland side, focusing more on enemy-based challenges, outside the optional pathway there, which focused on a combination of spikes and enemy-based challenges. I can't really give it a thumbs up, it just felt too bland for me. Third on the lineup is Apocalipse Solar by Lipatio, 14 plays and a score of 1. This roughly translates to English as the Solar Apocalypse. At the very least, that's what I think it is. This is going to be a medium-length level, and we start out with Iceman's background. We somehow dodged a bullet over there, and underwater. That's a bit strange. I don't get why it's called Solar Apocalypse. I see, this is melted ice from the sun. That makes sense. And here's the dried water, so of course we have the shrinks dying out over there. Poor shrinks. They're all dying because of a lack of water. Oh, and the ground here makes sense because they would usually be green, but they lost all their water because it dried up from the sun. Honestly, Heatman or a Fire-based Roadmaster would be better for this type of level, but unfortunately we don't have a Fire-based Roadmaster in this engine yet. Heatman or Solar Man would do. Also, somehow that enemy or shrink on the left was swimming outside of water. And of course, the missile fish when outside of water can't do anything other than kill themselves with their own missiles. All water-based enemies in this engine are weak outside of water, or rather they're really ineffective, or they're really good at killing themselves. Which is quite hilarious. Same with this Tama. So far so good, not that difficult, but we have to be on guard, especially with Lipatio's levels. The majority of them start pretty easy, but then they become, or at least half of them become fiendishly hard. Now we have an oil slider segment here. I'm waiting for the spikes. Instead, we have to jump over this, as well as the fire bars, and oh goodness. Bit of a close one there, but wasn't too difficult. This one, on the other hand, if I can time it right. And I can't time it right. Now time for the other water segment. Or rather jumping, oh wait a minute. I forgot there's a floor down there. And I forgot I keep getting hit there because of hitbox reasons. And I forgot there's no floor there. The fire bar hitboxes are a little bit misleading. At the very least, getting back over there isn't too much of a problem. The only really difficult segments are with the fire bars. The first set of screens over here are just to scare you from the enemies. This segment, I don't know how you're supposed to get through it using the oil slider. You have to jump off of it. Close one. Thank goodness there's a checkpoint right over here. Now I'll just slide past all of you. Thank you very much. The main idea of this stage I'm getting is that the polarized caps are melting due to the sun or fire-based world master, and we have to race through this in order to stop them. I also forgot to have the perfect freeze, which I probably should have utilized more there. This is a bit scary too, especially if I don't time it right, or if the perfect freeze doesn't spawn in correctly. Gotta be quick up here as well so we don't get killed by the red force beams. Thank you for the checkpoint. Thank you for dying here because I got ambushed there. I should be more suspicious of those one-gap tiles. Use this as a barrier. Jump past this quickly as possible. Effectively, this segment of the stage is forcing me to go right as quickly as possible to survive. I don't even need most of these blocks. I almost did it, but I ended up getting gibbed on the left side, or rather shunted into the force beam. Of course, it seems like if I keep just sliding to the right, I can ignore most of these force beams. Except for that last one, which I needed to activate. There we go. That's how you're supposed to do it. Just damage boost through everything. More poor shrinks just shriveling up. Also really appreciate that Lipatio placed all of these large weapon capsules. They really improved in terms of that regard. So there's no chance of getting soft-locked and being forced to restart the stage. And now we're in the city filled with all of these vehicles. I'm just gonna run past everything, end up getting hit by whatever. And here are all the stop signs as well. Oh boy. All those enemies firing back at me are making this stage a lot more difficult. Now, if only I could freeze the horizontal fire bars, that would make my life so much easier. And here are the car-type enemies. Thank you for the large life refill, I'm taking a lot of damage here. This stage is definitely not lacking in terms of fire-type enemies. It's a neat fire/water-based stage in that way, because we have a combination of fire and water-type enemies. I want to reset that room because I did it poorly. I guess we're in one of these tunnels that vehicles can go through. I just wonder why several of these vehicles are actually equipped with flamethrowers. I guess they're following Wily Incorporated or something. And I know I have to loop back up there so I can actually get to the exit and transition on to the next segment. The first segment was probably the polar regions that were melting, now we're in the city in chaos. I guess the final segment will be probably at Solar Man's base or something. Thank goodness there are actually invisible blocks down there. Oh. We can either go down or go to the left. Let's go to the left. I'm trying to jump to the left and things are glitching out. The screen transition there is also... Whoa. Whoa. What's going on? Why am I being pushed to the left over there? Oh no. Okay, for some reason, due to the screen transition, even though I was on the block explicitly, I kept being pushed on the elevator or conveyor belt to the left because I thought I was still on the conveyor belt. I'll chalk that up to being an engine glitch. And of course, that fan fiend is still injuring me. And I can't jump down there. Sorry if I sound a bit too frustrated. I'm still enjoying this stage. It's just that some of the enemy configurations and gimmicks, especially the fire bars, in that clustered environment, or rather claustrophobic environment, can be quite a nuisance to go through. Well, I guess we're at the enemy's base now, so we'll conclude the stage. Oh, never mind, we're in the third part of this level. We first started out in the polar region, the city, now we're in the park. Another perfect freeze segment. I'm really thankful for its spammy usage. Now we have a fire bar segment here. Thankfully, the tackle fires don't deal that much contact damage. I guess we just walked past the water fountain, and right over here all the water is dried up. So let's see what's behind this door. Well, it looks like the trees are scorched over there. Well, I know what the original background is, but it looks a lot like the trees are being scorched. Oh boy. Bomb Man segment. Or rather, we have to use the hyper bomb here. Of course, it's gonna take a short while. There we go. Jumping down in the lava there is gonna be instant death. Oh, I almost made it, but I wasn't on the edge of that platform. At the very least, there's a checkpoint at the beginning of this segment, so I'm not complaining. Well, I got past it this time. The only time you're stunned from moving when throwing the hyper bomb is when you stand still. But when you're jumping, you can still continuously move. So, when you're throwing the hyper bomb in these precise segments, jump. Or jump before throwing it. That one segment costed 3 deaths off screen. Well, we get a free tank for our efforts, and I guess we're going to be fighting the boss. We went through the polar ice caps, we went through a devastated city, a park, and that area. Now we're at Woodman's area for some reason. What's your weakness, though? If I can ever get the oil slider working. I get the feeling it's going to be perfect freeze, but I'll have to double check. It's a little bit odd why Woodman is the source of this solar apocalypse. I would expect it to be Heatman or Solar Man. Phew, I thought I was gonna die over there from getting hit by the next leaf shield. Honestly, having all these tackle fires makes this fight a bit more annoying. If the room height was a bit lower where we fight the boss, this would be less of an annoyance. And I also just realized that I missed a special weapon because of that key door there. That was probably Woodman's weakness. Still, I enjoyed this level. I liked how he transitioned between the 4 areas, and I liked how the challenge progression was ramping up. Although the boss fight could be a bit annoying with its arena. Plus the second area with all the cars, especially when traveling upwards, could be a bit annoying, especially with the firebar placement, specifically the horizontal firebars. It was a neat special weapons / precision based challenge level, or a rather lower end challenge level in terms of difficulty. Fourth and final level of this part is Weapon Capsules Trial by QC Charlotte Muscles, 40 plays and a score of 9. So let's see how this level stacks up. Currently, my favorite level of the part is Napalm Ballistic, with an honorable mention going to Apocalypse Solar. Nothing. And judging by the title, we're gonna get a whole bunch of special weapon capsules to utilize. Of course, we have firebars having their revenge. And these segments. I don't know how I survived that one. I'm grateful regardless. Let's enter this boss door and... oh! For whatever door we take, we get a different special weapon. We have a limited supply though, so we gotta be a bit careful. We could either get the Mega Buster, Needle Cannon, or Quick Boomerang. I think I got the best one because this has the best long range utility. So we'll always have 1 of 3 options. And now we have to face a bunch of enemies at once. That's a neat way of doing these challenges. I was wondering when they were gonna show up. And I knew that the level creator would pull off that trick. So let's see what new weapon capsule we get. Nothing yet. I guess we'll get it in the next split. This is a perfect place for an enemy-based challenge because this focuses on special weapons, and mainly how they fare against enemies. I'm just waiting for the next situation. Okay, there it is. Let's pick the down one this time. Now we have a choice between item 1, 2, and 3. I always felt that item 3 was underutilized in Mega Man 2, mainly because item 1 and item 2 usually filled its niches better. But it'll be fun to utilize it here. We have 2 options for going through this. We can either use item 1 to go up here, or use item 2 to go down there. Okay, and it descends once I jump off of it. A little bit scary doing that though. And we can either use item 2 or item 3 to get across. Neat. That segment with the spikes was a little bit scary though. This segment as well, the one where we need to do this jump. I'm always really wary about these jumps over spikes. Let's take the middle one this time and see what new chest we get. Ah, Crash Bomb. We have a choice between 3 explosive weaponry. The other choices were of course Hyper Bomb and Dive Missile. Honestly, I would have liked Dive Missile more. Although we'll see how useful it is. Oh, I see here. Using either one of the items you can get a free E-Tank. And now we have a whole bunch of enemies who are really tough to destroy usually, unless you have an explosive weapon. And we have that walking bomb that just walked off screen. Well, that's peachy keen. In a good way. Oh. Now too many bosses at once that really forces us to use special weapons, or rather any of the explosive weapons. Still, that's one way of forcing you to utilize the new weapons. And I guess this is the end of the stage, where we need to utilize one of our special weapons in order to destroy the boss. I see the magnet missile up there for some reason. Well, of course, it's to illustrate that Magnet Man's the boss. I guess the best weapon here to utilize will be the Crash Bomb. Plus it pierces right through his attraction ability. Plus, for this encounter, for some reason, he's decided to utilize the magnet missile a lot. Unlike the previous encounters where he usually utilized his magnetic pull ability. In this case, I would really like him to use the magnetic pull ability, but of course he decides to default to this. Okay, now he's utilizing it. It's hardest when he's on the left side, mainly because of the low ceiling. Item tree wouldn't be helpful here. I wish I had a dive missile. As long as they don't take too much damage, I'll be able to win this. So that was the end of Weapon Capsule Trial. This was a neat idea of a stage, giving us the choice between 3 sets of weaponry, usually of the same type. We saw it with the straight firing weapon, with the Mega Buster versus Needle Cannon versus the Quick Boomerang. The second set, which was item utilities for Mega Man 2, item 1 versus 2 versus 3. And the third set being explosive weapons, those being the Dive Missile, Hyper Bomb, or Crash Bomber. I really like this idea of the stage, and using different weapon types in order to pass through the trials. I would have liked to see more challenges like the item selection, where depending on what special weapon you get, you have to go through a slightly different set of trials. Because for the first and third set, you could get by using any of the special weapons. But for the second set, you got a slightly different route. But I enjoyed it, I liked how creative it was. So overall, out of the 4 levels I played in this part, my favorite one would definitely be Napalm Ballistic, with an honorable mention going to Apocalypse Solar. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!